This video is to wrap up the chapter 3 work together and on your own that we've been working with for a while. So this is currently page 39 in the workbook, and in your textbook this is on page 81. So reading the instructions here underneath the transactions, it says journalize the transactions for April 23rd and 27. Source documents are abbreviated as follows: check C, receipt is R, sale invoice S, calculator tape T. So we're only going to do the first two transactions on this page, and then we will prove and rule page 1 of the journal. So to get started, let's do these transactions. April 23rd, we sold services on account to K Spa, $150. This is sale invoice 2, so S2. So I'm going to put in my date and put in S2. My two accounts for this would be sales, that would be sold services, and since it was on account, it'll be accounts receivable for K Spa. Accounts receivable is an asset which is increased with a debit, so that will be a general debit of $150. And our sales credit column will also receive the $150. The next transaction is on April 27th. We paid cash to owner as withdrawal of equity, $800 C7. So I'm going to put in my date, 27 C7 for my document number. So for this one here, we paid cash, so cash will be affected. Cash will receive a credit since it's getting subtracted from there. And our debit is going to go to our drawing account for Norma Dirk's drawing, just like how we did on the 21st. And she is taking out $800. That will be an $800 general debit and a cash credit of $800. So next in step 2, we need to prove and rule page 1 of the journal, carry the column totals forward to page 2 of the journal. So when we prove our first page of the journal, we need to draw a single line or a single rule underneath the amount columns from general debit over to cash credit. And you can see my green line here. Some people will say there's already a line there. Yes, there's lots of lines on this page. You still need to draw the line. After that, we will put the date from our last transaction, which was 27. And then after we've done that, we will write carried forward. And we will also put in a check mark in the post reference column as well. So this is when you will need your calculators out and you will have to add each total together. So I'm going to pause while I do that. So I have totaled my columns, and I'm going to flip to the back because on the back side there is a special part where you can prove page 1 of the journal and you can write in your different amounts that you have here. So my debit column total was $5,615. My credit column total was $3,655. My sales credit was $3,130, and my debit column total is $5,555, and my cash credit column is $4,385, and if I add each of these two columns together, it'll be $11,170. Now, if these column totals did not add up, you would have to go back through and search for your errors and find where that could be. Since mine do total, what I will do is I will go back and I will double rule these amount columns. It can be hard to see sometimes on the screen what it looks like. So this whole line here has a lot. There's a date carried forward, the check mark, single and double rule, and then all of the column totals are written on here. Now, to bring this to the next page, we will flip it over. First of all, this was page number 1, so the next page is going to be page 2. And it says that in our steps. In step 3, it says use page 2 of the journal. That's listed there. We will put in the date. We need to put in the month because this is the first line, so we'll write the month so we know what that means. We will then write brought forward since these totals were brought from the previous page. We will need a check mark again in the post reference column. Leave the document column blank. There's no document needed for this totaling. And then we'll fill in our numbers, which you can flip to the front page or you can look right here on this page. All right, so we have those steps done. The next thing we need to do is do our next two transactions on April 29th and 30th. On April 29th, we received cash on account from K-Spa, $150 R3. So I will put in my date, which is the 29th, and I will put in R3 for my document number. Received cash, so that means cash will be increasing with a debit. We need a credit. That's going to be for our accounts receivable K-Spa because she has now paying on her account. And then one final last transaction we will have here. On April 30th, we received cash from sales, $625. This is T30. Received cash from sales. We have two accounts that will be affected by this, sales and cash. We do not have any account titles we need to write down, so we will put a check mark in there. And we will also put a check mark in the post reference column as well. So our sales credit will receive the $625. And our cash debit will also receive $625. This brings us to step 4 in the work together. We need to prove page 2 of the journal. So we'll put in our date. You will always put in the last date of the month. Excuse me for this popping up. I will restart later. The 30th. Then we will put totals. So at the end of the month, we put totals. We don't do any check marks for this. We only do the check marks for when we do carried forward and brought forward. We will draw a single rule to indicate that we are adding our columns. And some of these will be easier than the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and total. I will also fill in the bottom here where we prove page 2 of the journal as well. So I have my column totals here added. They're 11,945. They equal, so I double ruled, so you can check your numbers here. Just going across, we have 5,615. General credit, 3,805. Sales credit, 3,755. Cash debit, 6,330. And our cash credit, 4,385. So our journal is done, but the next thing we're going to do, and the last thing, will be to prove cash at the end of the month. So that will be this little section down here. So, prove cash. It says cash on hand at the beginning of the month. If you look in step 5 in your textbook, it says the beginning cash balance on April 1st is 0. And it says the balance on the next unused check stub is 1,945. So that's the ending number we're trying to get to. So cash on hand at the beginning of the month is 0. Plus cash received during the month, that is your cash debit column, because this is how much money we have received. This is how much we've paid. So cash received during the month is $6,330. So if you take 0 plus 6,330, you will get 6,330. Minus cash paid during the month, that would be our cash credit column total, 4,385. And that will equal our cash balance at the end of the month, $1,945, which equals what we have on our next unused check stub, which is in the book. So if they equal, everything will be good, and it is. So we are done with this journal. We are done finally with the work together. I'm going to show you the on your own as well. First thing in the on your own, in the steps, you need to journalize transactions for June 23rd and 26th, and then prove and rule page 1 of the journal. So to save time, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to do those 2 transactions. So I did the 23rd and 26th, which you can compare here to what I have on the screen. The next thing we need to do in step 2 is prove and rule page 1 of the journal, and then carry the column totals forward to page 2 of the journal. So we need to write the last date that we had for our transactions, which was the 26th. We will write carried forward on the first page. On the second page, we write brought forward. And then we'll put a check mark in the post-reference column. We will leave the document number column blank. We will draw a single rule across, and then we will take our calculators out and add. So I've added up my columns here: 5,210, 4,400, 5,500, 8,000, 3,310. You can also fill this in where you prove page 1, and they will come out to $13,210. And since they equal, we'll consider them good. Now they could equal and still be incorrect if you just wrote down wrong numbers everywhere. We're going to go ahead and double rule. So I got one line, which is hard to see on that one, and then one more to double rule. So we're going to bring this to page 2 of the journal, so make sure you put a 2 up for the page number. We will put the date that we used for when we did our carried forward. So June 26th, we will write brought forward and then also put in a check mark on that line. And we'll copy in the same numbers for our column totals. So I'm going to do this after we have put in all of our totals. We have 2 more transactions to do, so I will once again pause and do those 2 transactions. And then we will walk through totaling the page together. So you can compare your 2 transactions with what I have done. There are 30 days in June, so to total the journal page and our whole journal for the end of the month, which you will always total it at the end of the month, even though we have extra lines, we will put in 30. We'll put in totals. We will draw a single line or a single rule, and then go ahead and add up all your column totals and put it in where it says prove page 2. So my totals equal, and I have double ruled. You can pause this and check your numbers as you need to. The last thing to do would be to prove cash, and that is on step 5 in the on your own. It says prove cash, the beginning check balance on June 1st is 0. So cash on hand at the beginning of the month is 0. The balance on the next unused check stub is $5,312, so that's what we need our ending balance here to be. So cash received during the month is our total of our cash debit column, so $8,622. So if we take our cash on hand at the beginning of the month plus total cash received during the month, $8,622, minus total cash paid during the month, which is our cash credit of $3,310, we will end with $5,312, which equals the balance on our next unused check stub.